Look, I did ask earlier on in the last set of estimates for the correspondence between the RBA and the International Bank of Settlements, and the RBA refused to do that. Can you tell me why, as an elected representative of the Australian people, we shouldn't have access to correspondence between the RBA and the Bank of International Settlements?
So there was a couple of points. I think the first one is that the requested amount of information is voluminous.
Sure.
Because a lot of it is very transactional. It's just meetings, setting up meetings, these sorts of incidental things. So it's quite voluminous. It would take a lot of work for us to do. But the second point is that the information that is potentially of interest is in fact confidential.
And that's the information I want to get a hold of.
Yes.
Because I'd like to know why there's information between the RBA and the Bank of International Settlements, who have got a notorious history. They melted down the gold, Nazi gold. I mean, they are a notorious operation. Why is that information confidential? Why does the RBA consider that information confidential from the Australian people?
Because a lot of the information is about conversations we are having with other central banks, and those conversations are had on the condition that they are kept confidential. And if we were to release that sort of information, I would say one response would be that we would not be allowed to be included in conversations which include confidential information with other central banks.
And that's my concern, because central banks aren't being held to proper standards of transparency and accountability. And given that it's been central banks that have expanded the volume of money on a dramatic scale in the last 30 years, if anyone should be transparent and accountable, it should be the world's central banks, especially the US Federal Reserve, which is owned by a number of prime banks. Most people in this room wouldn't even know what a prime bank is, and that's the level of secrecy they operate behind. So I will continue to pursue those confidential minutes, whatever they may be, because I think that the RBA should be accountable to the Parliament.